Hi, this is Keith Bryant for Electronica Exchange. I'm here doing a podcast with my good friend, Mr. Soni Saran Singh, who is the founder and CEO of NMTronics. So, welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Keith. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Okay. Today, we're going to be talking about hardware innovation and all things that are new and exciting and happening in India. I guess my first question, you have a huge experience over time of the India market. What are you seeing as the recent changes and how fast is everything moving?
Keith, as you know that Indian electronic manufacturing industry has already been matured, and it is not an overnight, but it has accelerated a lot in the last couple of years, especially post-COVID, especially when we have the chip shortages, and we have seen how the world economics have changed when we started talking about the electronics manufacturing. Our honorable Prime Minister have really laid down the nice policies, which has really given a boost to electronic manufacturing in India. You have seen a very positive vibes in this event. And thanks to Mr. Minchin for organizing this thing, which is bringing the entire industry ecosystem together. And this has given a very positive impact for all the equipment suppliers all across the globe, people like us who have been in this industry for more than 3 decades, and all of our customers. So this particular industry, I have seen that there are some very well established players, multiple SMT lines, multi locations. They are the homegrown companies, and they are now coming at the global level. But more importantly is that I've seen a lot of mushroom growths. New people are coming in and they want to understand about this business. They want to get into this. People are talking about the design capabilities. We are talking about the manufacturing systems. So this, I have not seen it before. People are talking latest cutting edge technologies, how the AI is going to impact our industry, how the predictive analysis for every machine is going to improve the productivity, and they can understand. So India market as such is at par, I can say. I attend these events all across Northern Hemisphere. We talk about Japan, we talk about China, Taiwan, Germany, and the US, which this industry is known for. And I'm seeing that there's not much of the gap. What I see the show in Japan, or I see in the Apex show in Anaheim, or the Munich show for Productronica, we are almost coming at par. So this is a very positive thing.
Yeah. And obviously the main driver behind this, and I know it's something very close to your heart, is the Make in India initiative.
Very true, sir. And again, I would like to thank our Honorable Prime Minister for giving an initiative. You know, it's a very interesting thing. The capital good industry is almost like a barometer of any country's GDP, whether the capital good industry is for electronic industry or for any other industry. You look at Japan, you look at China, you look at Korea, you look at Taiwan, you look at Germany, Italy, or even United States. The capital good industry are the pillar for any country's economics. And India, as some numbers are flowing in, we have less than 1.8% of the capital goods, which is locally being made in India. Indian government has realized this, and they are really working it out, people like us, and they're encouraging others to start Make in India. So we are picking up the low-hanging fruits. We started making conveyors, we started making laser marking machines. Government is enabling it. They are imposing an anti-dumping duty for restricted entry and encouraging the local manufacturing. Customers are responding to it positively. We are also building it up. We have started making the 2D AOIs machines. I plan to have at least one machine developed every 6 months. And I told to my designers, machine designers, that anything what China can do it, India can also do it. It's just a matter how serious you are. It's just a matter how committed you are. So I told my guys, my team, you have to make sure that you design yourself. You pick up the best thing, because we have been the equipment distributor for 30 years, And we have seen the pluses and minuses of every different kind of machines. So we are doing the thread level down analysis. We're trying to see where it is good and how to optimize the cost, because Indian market by and large is extremely cost sensitive. And all our customers, they know about it, and that's the reason, that's one of the way electronic industry is thriving. And I told my team, it should be made in India, Chinese price, if not the Japanese, at least try to match the Korean quality and quick delivery. And if you're able to meet these parameters, sky's the limit for all of us to grow.
Yeah, that's a very good sentiment, because yeah, we've all worked in the Indian market for a long time. We know it's probably the most cost sensitive one that we come to, but they also have a demand for the quality. It's not just about the price. It's they want a very good product, but they want it at a very low price, and they need the reliability and all the other things that come with a good machine. So it's not just a cost sensitive market, it's also very demanding.
Very true, sir. Indian market, Indian customers are, I would say, so Japanese customers are also very demanding, and Indian customers are also very demanding, but both the demands are in extremes. Probably the Japanese customers, they look for extremely, extremely high quality, but the Indian customers are look for the extremely low price, but to the level they can compromise the quality, but now even that is changing. So it's the best combination, what we call as a value for money.
And obviously they're looking for relatively innovative hardware. They're looking for the latest technologies, because they're assembling the latest boards with the biggest BGAs and the smallest components and all the other challenges.
Very true. We have seen some of our customers that they are implementing some of the techniques, some of the technology on the electronic assembly boards first time in the world, and they are the global giants. So India is becoming a site for the global evaluation. India is becoming a site for, what we have seen in my early days. All such evaluation used to happen in other countries, but now India is becoming a site for the global evaluation. I'm extremely happy to see that India is in the radar to do the first level trials.
Yeah, and it's a thing when you talk to the equipment suppliers that are global, now they're promoting their latest technologies here in India, whereas 5-10 years ago it was like the lowest cost technology, and the whole thing seems to have flipped very, very quickly.
Very correct. And we have seen even all my business partners whom we represent here, they are all very keen on bringing the latest technology to the show. And at the same time, the similar technology equipments are being shown in the rest of the world.
Yeah, India is definitely on a par with any other country doing high volume, high quality manufacturing.
Yes. And I can say some interesting numbers, because most of the companies whom I represent, and the kind of a business and the sales I'm doing it, we are almost contributing anywhere from 8% to 12% of the annual turnover. So Indian market by and large contributes the 10% of the global sales. So India is definitely becoming a significant marketplace for them.
And as well as the products that you're manufacturing effectively as own brand products, you have a relationship also with a reflow company.
Yes, very interesting. So I would like to take it, Mr. Dave Heller. He's my friend, and we have been working with Heller Industries almost close to 20 plus years. And when Dave had a choice of expanding his business, he had a choice of going to Vietnam or India or Mexico. But after careful analysis, he thought India is the place for that. So I made a joint venture with him, and we started a company called Heller Thermal Systems. I'm one of the director of the company, one of the promoter of the company, and our relationship is extremely strong. And he is one of the first, I would say, the American businessmen to come to India and start doing Make in India, a true Make in India. So the factory is going to be located in Ahmedabad. We started building the prototyping. Some field trials are already done. We have taken the feedback from the customer, and we are going to ramp it up in next year, 26.
Yeah, and this is likely to be the first of, I won't say the floodgates will open, but I'm sure there will be a lot of people following, because the Indian market is going to keep expanding. I don't know how big it's going to get or where it's going to end, but talk to a lot of people that say, yes, soon India will be bigger than China.
Well, China is still big. China is a big daddy for us. So, but yes, we are catching up. As I told, that I'm contributing to nearly about 10% of the 10 to 12% of the overall global sales. China was at some point of time at the peak level, they were 40%. Now they dropped to nearly about 20, 25% of the global sales. So they are probably 2.5 times than
Yep.
India, at least to the business segment, which I'm doing.
Yeah. So double again in a few years, you're going to be close to them.
Well, I think so. The overall market pie will also go up.
Oh, for sure. But no, it's really good talking to you, because the innovation that I've seen here around the show, it's, as you say, it's the same now as a global show that we would go to in the US, in Germany, in anywhere around the world. There's the latest technology. The conference has had people talking about, even the new developing technologies. So it really, I don't like to use the phrase coming of age, but India is definitely now, as you say, it's a mature market, it's a high technology business, and it's at the forefront of that technology, and I think it's going to continue.
Very true, because in May 2025, government has introduced a new policy called ECMS, which is Electronic Component Manufacturing Scheme, which government is encouraging the businessmen to come and invest for the bare PCBs, copper-clad laminates, camera modules, discrete components, IGBTs, power semiconductor, and so on. It's a huge money. Government has put more than $3 billion of the taxpayers' money on the table. They say, hey guys, come on and invest it. And this is bringing a new excitement among equipment guys like us,
Yep.
the customers. I've seen a lot of my customers have shown a lot of positive interest, and we are scouting the best technology. Everybody is going to put in the money. We see venture capital companies coming in and planning to invest it. So money is no more a problem, at least for the Indian economy right now. And market is already ready. It's just a matter of time now.
Yeah, and the government can stand on its success of the Make in India program so far. And I think that's going to give all the investors and all the other people who want to come in a huge amount of confidence, because they've got this over 10 years of history now of rapid growth, of government support, of all the other things that you need to get your business running.
Keith, very true. And if you look at, I have seen in last couple of years, we have seen a lot of domestic companies, they went to public, and their share prices are doing extremely well. The P ratio is always 150 multiples, and some of them even cross 200. And nowhere in the world we have seen the only EMS companies are getting that level of the P multiples. And they are consistently delivering the results from the last 8 to 12 quarters. So something is real. I can't say it's a hype, because they are consistent, they keep on growing it. And so what you see here is not a hype, it's a real.
Yeah, it's been real solid growth until now, and I'm sure it's going to continue. So thank you very much for sharing with us, sir, and giving us your time.
Thank you very much.
See, we're done.
Done? Should we go? Huh. Okay. Okay.
You okay with that?
Perfect, sir.
I think it was good.
We have a good chemistry.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple of interviews to do now, and then we've finished on our booth.
Yeah.
I will come to yours, and anything more you want us
Done,
to do,
sir.
we'll set up in the meeting room, and we'll do
Always.
a couple of more.
So just to let you know, I am already in discussion with a couple of my other partners. So we are still evaluating, should we do it, how we should do the 2 shows next year or something like this. I'll keep you updated.
Please do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I spoke to Elvleaf, the PCB maker. Elvleaf?
Huh?
Elvleaf? They were at the exhibition in Thailand. That's where I met them, and I was talking to the young lady.
Right.
And she said, yeah, they're going to have electronica here, and they're going to have productronica there. And I said, yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
But they're not going to. They're going to have electronica and productronica in both places in the same year. And then if you add automation, you add the new thing from IPC, there's like five events next year that are big events. And yeah, it's got to be crazy. I was already speaking to Trevor, and he said, how are we going to get sponsors to come to two? And I said, well, no, you're going to have to choose which one you think is going to be the best and focus on that. Because, talking to the principals, I saying, well, I'm not going to fly here 2-3 times a year to go to a show.
Even for
and
us,
I'm
it
not
takes a
going to
lot
ship
of time.
it. For you, it's crazy. Did I hear you say you've got 14 trucks to ship everything?
Yeah.
It's a huge undertaking.
Huge. Just a lot of money is going, and we don't get an ROI on this. We're just showing our presence. That's enough. Yeah, we don't.
And you're working in a very cost-sensitive environment.
Very cost sensitive.
It's not like you're an IT business with a 90% gross margin.
No way, impossible it is. Yeah.
No, I was chatting to the Messamunchen lady, and she said, yeah, but you could take a smaller stand at each one. And I said, the stand cost is only a small proportion of what it costs to do. I said, I've done these things up to 80 square meters around the world. And I can tell you, the cost of the stand doesn't matter. But by the time you've paid to have it built, you've shipped the equipment, you've lost probably 2 weeks production, you've lost your demo room for 2 weeks, you've lost a whole load of other stuff. You need to be getting a big return to actually justify doing it. And I said, I don't think they will, because it's going to split the audience.
Yeah.
I said, if I was an Indian company and we needed a new production line, didn't matter where I was in India, I would send my guys to wherever the show was to evaluate the equipment, because that's how you do it. I said, if I just wanted a day out, I probably wouldn't get a 2-hour flight to come to a show. But nobody does that anymore. Nobody's got the time. Nobody's got the money. I said, I've noticed around the world, the audiences are shrinking. But you talk to the exhibitors, and they're very happy, because the people who are just coming for a day out to meet their friends, they're the people who don't come anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, the people who come are the people who are there for a reason. And for me, that's, I used to have this argument. In fact, it was Messamunchen. The first show I did for Nordson, for Dage, a long time ago.
Yes.
They said, yeah, we've had, I forget the number, but let's say, we've had 23,000 visitors at the show, Keith. You should be really happy. I said, I don't care. I said, I'll tell you how many are on my stand and are interested in buying X-ray machines.
Exactly.
Because that's why I'm here.
Yes.
I said, I don't care that the aisles are full.
Yeah.
I said, I don't care. You have 500 people. If 400 of them want to buy an X-ray machine, I'm happy as hell. But you have 30,000 people who just want to ask me, what does this machine do? Then I'm not going to be happy.